Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm so excited to be here. My name's Adiel, and you may know me in the app as Rose Gold Lining. I head up the community development team at Poshmark, and so I'm super excited to be back with a new edition of Level Up Live to chat with a few savvy Poshers and talk all about their Poshmark experience. And I know they're super excited to share their very best tips with you guys, right? So you may know them in the app. Let's say hello to them as Me to You with Love, the Napa Thrifter, and Tempost. Please say hello to Angelica, Marie, and Hillary. Welcome, ladies.
Hello. Welcome, everyone.
And for those of you joining us live tonight, thank you so much for tuning in and welcome. Please feel free to drop your questions for these panelists or share your very own Posh tips on whatever we're talking about. And of course, don't forget to include your Poshmark username. And let us know where you're tuning in from. But before we get into it, let's do some quick introductions. I want you guys to share your closet name, where you are from, and how did you get started on Poshmark? So let's start with Maria.
Hi, everyone. My name is Maria. I'm the Napa Thrifter. I actually got started November 2017 because of Angelica. She actually started first, and she, recommended I start as well, and started selling my clothes, and been, taken off ever since.
That's super exciting. And how about you, Hillary?
Let's see. My closet name is @Tempost, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And I got started just about 2 years and 1 month ago. And basically somebody had sent me the link, with the discount code. And I was like, I never had known about it. And I was like, how did I not know about this for as long? And just jumped right on it. So that's how I got started.
I always love hearing how people got started. And last but not least, Angelica.
Hi, everyone. My name is Angelica, and my closet name is Me to You with Love. My sister and I, Maria, we're from Northern California, and I got started in June of 2017, and I just happened to want to flip a find that I found at Goodwill, and so it started the ball rolling, and here we are a couple years later, still going strong. So, yeah.
Welcome again, ladies. Thank you for tuning in and being so gracious and willing to share your Posh tips. Those of you who are tuning in, I'd love to hear how you guys got started on Poshmark as well. I see the Tyler Conrad says, only been poshing for 3 months. So I see people from Nashville and Connecticut and Vancouver. So many fun people tuning in tonight. So thank you again. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's start off with talking about sourcing. I want to talk a little bit about where you get your inventory and how your strategy has evolved in light of current world events. So Angelica, your life at home has led you to new sourcing strategies, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so before the pandemic, I was a Goodwill and a Savers, shopaholic, and I would go as often as I could, sometimes even during my lunch hour at work. But now I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so I have to pivot. And so what I've done is I've started sourcing online, and I've started looking at liquidation sites and also just like wholesalers online. So that's what I've had to do, and thankfully it's been working really well.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that you're able to find a new place to do that.
Yeah.
Maria, you used to do a lot of thrifting as well, but have also added new sources. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, one thing that I started doing is actually sourcing on Poshmark. You can find amazing deals on there too. So, just keep looking at the brands that that you like to sell, or, just want for yourself too. And a lot of the times too, if I want to buy something for personal use off Poshmark, I'll check out the user's other listings, their closet, and bundle some items that I can sell as well. So I'm also making money while making purchases for myself.
Oh, that's fun. I like that. All right. And Hillary, anything you'd like to add to this?
Our state is a little different, so we're pretty much open. But I just am very careful about, when I go, and I know it's like you're supposed to go in the morning, but I went one time in the morning to the Goodwill and there was a line. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to wait. So I go in the evening, and my Goodwill just happens to put out a lot of good stuff in the evening because they pack the shelves for the next day. So I've done that, and I have my friends that are looking out for me too. So they find things. I had a friend find a bag of stuff on Reddit for me, and all free, and free is always the best.
Well, I was going to say, it sounds like you have a great group of friends. If they're helping you source, they're looking out for you. How do you recommend people go about finding friends like that?
I'm just very lucky, very blessed in that.
That's so great. It's really great to have a great support team around you, whether it's friends or family. And that's awesome. It sounds like we've got a little bit of both of that here with supportive sisters and supportive friends. That's super exciting. So I'd love to hear a little bit for those who are able to go out thrifting either now or in the past, or hopefully in the future. What tips do you guys have for spotting the really great deals? What are you looking for when you're at the thrift store? Why don't you go first, Maria?
One thing that I started doing recently, especially to find brands that I don't recognize or that I haven't seen before, is really going off of the quality. You can feel it. You can usually feel to see if they're, high quality, or if it's, cashmere is really soft. Obviously you can look at the care tag and go off that, and then just do a quick research on Poshmark, see if it actually sells or not. So that's one big thing I've been doing lately whenever I can go to Goodwill.
That's so true. Just simply touching it, yes, especially the more you do it, you can really just tell just by feel, a quick way to spot those goodies. Hillary, how about you?
Well, I guess one of the things that I do is my Goodwill. I mean, these people, and they just find like All Saints and Lululemon and everything when they just walk in the door. And my Goodwill is not like that. So I've just decided I'm going to find what's different, what's cool, what's unique, what's original, what's vintage, and I usually just, start at a rack and I just go through one at a time and I pull it out. I don't just wish, but I'll pull it out. I'll look at it. I'll, arrange it on the hanger right. I'll hold it up against me, and I'll find, some pretty cool things that way.
That's so true. I love the idea of trying to hone in on a niche and being unique with what you bring into your closet. It's really great. And Angelica, what would you like to add for your tips?
So one of the things that I started doing is just looking on Instagram to see if other people are mentioning clothing or, things that I should be on the lookout, labels that I don't know of. So that has helped me a lot to kind of get out of my box a little bit and explore other brands that I may have, overlooked in the past. So that has been really helpful. And then also just a quick, search on comps. It's always good to look up a brand. If you're not quite sure, just take a peek and see what other people have sold the item for, and then that'll give you a good idea of where to go.
That's so true. Nothing else, just check the comps.
Yeah.
Always a great reminder. Lots of love for the tip of checking out the fabric for quality. Lots of people sound like that's the way they go, feeling through the bins or looking at the care tags. So great tip there. So I want to talk a little bit about how, Hillary, you've recently moved your inventory to a storage unit. Can you tell us about why you made that choice and how that journey's been working out for you?
Oh, well, why I made that choice is it was exploding all over the house. I have things, I have the most intense spreadsheet because it says things like under the living room couch, because I have things tucked everywhere. And so I also wanted to expand my business because right now I have about I think 700 items on Posh, and I want to grow that to 1,000 in the next year. And so I wanted a place to put that was more cohesive, that didn't have me running around in a little scavenger hunt, in the bin in the dining room. So that's the reason I did that, and I was able to find a good deal, and it's a comfortable place to be.
Well, that's great. I think That's super relatable. First of all, I was keeping things, I sell on Poshmark as a side hustle, and I had stuff at home and at the office, and yeah, it was getting messy. And so I can totally relate to wanting to pull it all into one cohesive, organized setup. That's great. How about you, Angelica? Where do you keep your inventory and how do you manage it?
So thankfully my closet is on the smaller side, so it's a lot more manageable. I only have 2 designated closets. One has dresses, formal dresses mostly, that I hang up and I have in care bags, and then also I have bins with pants and shorts and things like that. So it's I don't have a spreadsheet or anything, but I do have them labeled as shirts or pants, and so I know where they are for the most part. But my closet's fairly small, around 200 active listings, so it's manageable for me that way.
Totally. And how about you, Maria?
So my closet's very large. I actually have a separate room for it. It's my posh room. I currently have over 1,300 active listings, and my goal is to do 1,500 by the end of the year. So going on the sourcing thing, I actually did just order a pallet, so I'm waiting for that to come in. So I really am working on getting my inventory set up. As of now, I have half the whole back wall is hanging. So I have everything from the jeans, shirts, and stuff like that. But then I also have a lot of bins that I'm moving everything into bins with their own number. So that makes it a lot easier for someone else besides me to pull it if needed. So as of right now, it's a lot of, oh yeah, that's, in this room, in this side of the room, or in this bin. And it's kind of, my inventory system needs help. But we're working on it.
One thing I want to point out here is that I think all 3 of you are having great success on Poshmark, and you guys are all at very different areas with your business as far as how many active listings and what your goals are. And I think I always love to reiterate, this is my favorite point, is that there's no one right way to do Poshmark. You can be successful at 300 active listings, 200 active listings, or 1,500. And I saw a couple comments about how many active listings people have and what their goals are and how they organize. And I think it's really great to have these conversations to talk about what we're working towards and how it's working for us, and that we can all do things kind of in a way that works for ourselves. So thanks for sharing your perspectives there. I want to quickly just do a little check-in. If you're just joining us, I'm here with Maria, Hillary, and Angelica, all 3 successful Poshmark community members, and they're sharing all of their experience and Poshmark tips. And those of you who are tuning in, we'd love to hear from you as well. So make sure you're leaving comments with your tips on these topics as well. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and include your Poshmark username, because we'd love to find you after the fact. So getting back into it, you guys, I want to talk a little bit now about your favorite tools and features on Poshmark. Hillary, you mentioned that you're a fan of the copy listing feature. Can you share what that is and how you're strategically using it in your closet?
Yes, a lot of times I'll just to refresh a listing, maybe it's gone down as low as I'm willing to sell it for, but I put it on off season. So if I have a swimsuit and it's the middle of November, like right now, I can use the copy listing feature, and I'll copy it and I'll delete it from my main page, and I'll save the copy in my drafts. And then come January, I'll just pop that back in, and it's easy peasy, and I don't have to think about it. And you can hold 50 listings in there, so it's a great little holding cell for your things. And then also, if you just wanted to relist something really quickly, you can do that with the copy feature. But I love it.
That's so interesting. I think that's the first time I've heard about that combo of copy listing and then saving in drafts. I'm sure that there are other people out there doing it, but that's really interesting. I like to hear about that. Angelica, you love using bundles. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I really enjoy using the bundle feature, especially as a tool of communication with your buyer. Sometimes we get offers that are a little bit too low, and so this is a great opportunity to reach out to that person and say, hey, I'm really glad that you're looking at my closet, and thank you so much for the offer, but are you willing to negotiate a little bit? So I really like that, to be able to have a more private conversation, but not private. Just have that open channel with that buyer.
That's great. I like to the point there I think is really great is just being there, like treating your potential buyer as a real person and like
Yeah.
having a conversation with them. I think that's so smart. Such a good thing to remember when we're behind our phones or our keyboards. It can be really easy to forget that there's a person on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Maria, I know you favor offers to likers. Explain how you're using that feature.
Yeah, so whenever I get a new like on an item, I tend to usually send an offer using the offer to likers. That way they know, one, I'm active, and then two, they can go ahead and accept or counter. But I feel like it just starts the communication right away from the get-go, and it makes using the offer to liker feature makes it super simple and straightforward.
Totally. And before we move on from these tools, I'm going to ask you if you guys have anything else you want to shout out, but there were a couple questions. One about if drafts expire, and the answer is no, they don't expire, but they do max out at 50. So you want to make sure you're getting through them and getting them live, because you can't sell it if it's not live on Poshmark, right? So any other features you guys want to shout out before we move on from this topic? Nothing else comes to mind.
I don't think so.
Well, we'll keep an eye on the comments. Feel free to leave a comment with your favorite Poshmark features and tools. And I want to talk about any other strategies you guys might have for making a sale, whether it be branding or marketing on social media. What things are you guys employing to really close the deal? Let's go ahead and start with Maria.
One thing that I love doing is kind of a combination of what Angelica said and what I do. If you get a low offer, a lot of people just tend to decline it. I'm really firm about never declining. Instead, if someone is coming in too low and just not a reasonable offer that I would like to accept, I tend to go and message them and let them know, hey, this is my lowest. I hope we can agree on the price that we're both happy with, and I can go ahead and, ship today, tomorrow, whenever I can ship. Again, it's starting that communication and being firm and being honest. I know they appreciate that. So definitely just communication.
Totally. Communication is key. And Angelica, anything you can add for your strategies?
Yeah, so one of the things that I started doing recently is looking at like the homepage of Poshmark, where they tell you what brands are really in or trending for that month or for the recent past couple of weeks. So I'm actually surprised by some of the brands that are on there, and so I think that it's really good information to check out and see what brands are trending. And so that I take that information and I use it as best as I can when I source. And so I've done really well. I've seen Patagonia on there, and so I recently started carrying a lot of small Patagonia goods that tend to sell very quickly. So it's just using that information that's already out there to your advantage.
Yes, that's a really great point. For those of you who may not be aware, if you go to Poshmark.com when you are logged out of your account, you can see a lot of great data on what's trending on Poshmark. And it really complements the other resources that are out there, such as recently on Instagram, they shared from the blog our trend report that we put out there for the community, another great source for data and trends. So that's a great tip. And Hillary, any other strategies that you're using to close the sale?
Yes, I use Closet Clear Out. And if I get an offer during Closet Clear Out and somebody says like, oh, I have something for $25, and they'll say, I'll offer you 20. Normally I would take that, but during Closet Clear Out, I send them a little note and it says, if I drop the price to, $22, you'll only, or, the 10% off, I'm not adding or subtracting correctly, but, I'll offer, make it $22, and then I'll tell them how Closet Clear Out works, that their shipping will only be $4.99. And so I give them both. I say, if I accept your $20 offer, you still pay $7.11 shipping. But if I take the 22, you'll pay $4.99. So you save a little bit. And sometimes depending on what the offer is, if they save a little bit more, and people are really appreciative of that. So they'll tend to buy because they do end up saving a little money and I end up making just a skosh more money. So
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah,
wins.
that's really good advice. Thanks for sharing those tips, ladies. I'm sure that someone's going to be able to connect with some of those tips. So as you are well aware, we're in the midst of a holiday shopping season. So I want to touch a bit on being ready for the season as a Poshmark seller. So Angelica, you mentioned adding small new with tags items to your closet. Tell us a little bit about that. What are you adding?
So I did mention the Patagonia things that I've added. I've had a lot of like beanies and hats. I've had fanny packs as well that I've been able to source. And then also I've done small makeup items, all new, in box. But I think that some people are looking for, just little gifts that to show appreciation during the holidays. So I've done really well with selling those smaller accessories.
Yeah, totally. And Marie, I know you mentioned you've got a lot of new with tags inventory from a palette. Tell us a little bit how you're prepping.
Yeah, so my main thing right now is in the palette, there's mixes of new with tag and items that are used. So I've been definitely prioritizing the new with tag because when you're trying to give a gift, not everybody would necessarily think that a used gift would be acceptable. Don't get me wrong, I'd be happy with it, but but a lot of people prefer to be gifting new with tag items. So I've definitely been prioritizing that. And when I'm shopping on Poshmark too, like I said earlier, I look for things that are new with tag that I can resell and repost them again. And people are buying for Christmas and the holidays. So
yes. And Hillary, is there anything that you can share about prepping for the holiday season as a Poshmark seller?
Yes, I'm doing the same thing. I'm trying. I have some new with tags items that I had from September, and I saved them for now, and I'm starting to list them now. Even if they're off-season items, sometimes just everybody is looking for new items to give as gifts or even as gifts for themselves. So they tend to sell well for me at this time because I look at my analytics. I look at what I did last year, and I could say, oh yeah, this many new with tags skirts or something sold really well. So I know to load up on the skirts or whatever.
That makes a lot of sense. And Angelica, I know you mentioned the Holiday 2020 Toolkit. Can you explain what that is and what you found useful about it?
Yeah, so the toolkit was just a resource that Poshmark recently put out, but they had a lot of resources and a lot of information about things that are doing well on the website. But mostly, I really like the templates that they provided. They had little like thank you card printouts that you could use, and so I think that that's really important during the holidays is to send that extra little something to show your appreciation. For the people that are buying from your small closet. So I think that for me was really the best part about the toolkit was the printables.
That's great. And maybe we can get a link to the toolkit in the comments here. So keep an eye out for that. And I'd love to hear from those who are tuning in with us tonight, what things you're doing to prep for the holiday season as a Poshmark seller. So I want to quickly kind of change gears a little bit. I know that Poshmark has been a part of your guys' lives in a lot of different ways. And I want to talk a little bit on how Poshmark has maybe impacted or changed your life since you've been on. So Hillary, why don't we kick it off with you? What comes to mind about how Poshmark has been an impact for you?
Oh, wow. Okay. Huge impact because when I moved here, I had retired from my job in San Diego, and I moved out here thinking I was going to do the same type of job. And I kind of got into it and I sort of didn't like it anymore. And I didn't know what I was going to do once I left that job. And so what I did was I took a nice 2 month vacation and went back to San Diego and rethought. And that's around the time that my friend told me about Poshmark. And so I was looking into it and I was like, I wonder if I could do that, and I started watching YouTube videos and people that were talking about, reselling. And I was like, I wonder if I could do that. So while I was in San Diego, I sourced some items and I brought them home and I just started listing. And it's really changed my whole life because it's filled in the gap for my finances for, you know, the income that I lost. It's also allowing me to learn something new. And that's always exciting when you learn something new and then you find out that, hey, you're good at it. So it gave me a new skill that I get to carry on and build on. So that's the hugest, best impact I can ask for. So thanks,
That's
Poshmark.
so touching, Hillary. Thank you for sharing that. I think you touched on so many great points there. And Maria, how about you? How has Poshmark had an impact on you?
Poshmark has definitely had a huge impact. I'm actually currently 8 months pregnant and about to leave my 9 to 5. So Thursday is my last day at my job, and I'll be doing Poshmark full time now. And it's allowed me to not have to go back to work because the extra income has been amazing. I just upgraded my car. I was able to pay it with Poshmark income or earnings. So it's been life changing, and it's been just the simple fact that I can go shopping without being remorseful about it. And because I know I'm going to go and make profit on it and sell it has been a game changer.
Yeah, that's super exciting. If you don't mind me asking, were there any things you did to help prepare you to take on this transition of going full-time on Poshmark?
Oh, definitely the palette. Like that's where that came in. Me and my husband were talking about it. He's like, you just need to buy a lot of inventory because you're not going to be able to leave the house for a while once the baby gets here. So that way, when you have a little bit of free time, you'll have the clothes already here. And then inventorying my inventory, having an actual system where if I can't actually be the one pulling it, my husband can. So I've been preparing it to be where I don't have to go look for it because I knew where I put it away. Anybody else can by just looking at looking at my Poshmark closet and seeing the SKU number, which is very helpful, the SKU number. So that's definitely been in the works.
A lot of great advice. It just sounds like thinking through what things you need to do to help you have that cushion for when you make that transition. That's great. And Angelica, last but not least, how has Poshmark changed your life?
So it's helped me be able to still feel like independent and have some me time. I am a mom of 3 young children, so it's difficult to have that sense of self. And so Poshmark has been that for me, where I can feel like I'm a business entrepreneur. And so I'm just thankful for that outlet and this side hustle that has also allowed me to have some little luxuries in my life. I use, the earnings that I get from my small closet to purchase things that I may not be able to purchase, normally. So that's how Poshmark has really helped me. And I think that I'm thankful for Poshmark because it really has brought my sister and I together. We're really close. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we've connected over Poshmark and we talk about strategies all day long in our sales. So that's another great thing about it.
That's great. I love how the Poshmark community is so supportive of one another, not even just limited to when there's blood relation there. I think it's so great. And just looking at the comments, I think this is a great transition to what is our last question of the night. I can't believe we're already here. There have been so many great questions and advice being shared here tonight. And I know I've seen quite a few people comment that they're new to Poshmark and they have some questions about getting started. How do they get their items noticed? So I think I want you guys to kind of put on the hat of brand new to Poshmark. What do you wish you knew when you first started? Or what's one piece of advice you can give someone who's getting ramped up on Poshmark? Maria, why don't we have you go first?
I think one of the main things that I would say, if you really are trying to go out and source for stuff to sell on Poshmark, don't get caught up on buying things that are only $1, only $2. Really do the research, look at the comps, see what's selling, what's trending on Poshmark before you go out to source. Obviously, there's sometimes that you won't be finding the brands that they do, they're recommending or that's currently selling. But definitely do the research because then you end up being stuck with inventory that's not selling, that's not moving. And, the point is you want to make sales. So definitely do research before you try to go and do your first sourcing trip.
That's really excellent advice. And Hillary, how about you?
Guess, well, what I wish I had known was when I started was I'm not the average age of the average Poshmark shopper.
Mm.
And so when I went and looked at the data that Poshmark provides, it was like, oh, I'm buying for a whole different customer. That's why I had a lot of stuff sitting in my closet, because I was buying for, 55-year-olds, because that's what I am. And so when I learned that the average Poshmark buyer is much younger, I had to start doing better research. But I know a lot of people are like, oh, how do I get started? What do I do? And it's just get started. Just do it. Find something in your closet that you don't want, put it up, because if you stress over every little bit about like, oh, my photos, or oh, how do I ship, or oh, which box do I use, or oh, what can I do? Those are things that'll keep you from getting started. And the longer it takes you to get started, the longer it takes for you to make money. So just jump in.
Totally. However, I will add, just in my experience on selling on Poshmark, I feel like there is a market there's someone out there for everything, really.
Oh,
I've been surprised at what I've been able to sell, and people have been so like, I've been looking everywhere for this. So I think it's really great to consider what works best for you, but also, yes, read the data, but also take what makes sense to you and put it back into your business. I love that. And Angelica, what do you recommend?
I think what I recommend for a new person starting out is to, I would say, join the Poshmark community as much as possible. I think that getting involved with like virtual Posh and Sips, or just other like the live stream that we're doing now, things like that really will help you get information that will make you successful. I really love the Instagram community for Poshmark, where there's so much information out there. There's all this valuable, all these resources that are available. You just have to go and find them. So I would try and get involved with other Poshers as much as possible. And I love our community, so I think that we're very welcoming. So if anyone, new people have questions, I'm always available to help out. So yeah, just get yourself out there.
That's great. A great segue to my last point of the night is that we've had so many great questions come through, and you guys shared so many great tips tonight, but obviously we couldn't cover it all. So I would encourage everyone tuning in to go connect with these ladies, and feel free to connect with them. Ask some questions. I'm sure they'd love to share some deeper tips on what they touched on tonight. So if something they said connected with them, reach out. They're very, very great ladies to talk to. So please help me thank Hillary, Angelica, and Maria for sharing their experience and tips, and definitely give them all the Posh love in the comments. But before we go, let's have each of you guys share, where can they connect with you to keep in touch? Hillary, take it away.
Okay, I am on Instagram at Posh_salad, because Tempos was already taken. So you can find me there.
All right, and Maria?
I'm on Instagram as the Napa Thrifter, so the same as my Poshmark closet.
Great. And Angelica?
So my Instagram is me to you _with love, and me to you with love on the Poshmark app.
Awesome. Thank you again for sharing all of your advice, and thanks to all of you who tuned in with us tonight. It was so great hanging out with everyone. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to stay in the loop for our future live streams. And until then, enjoy the holiday season, and happy poshing, everyone.
Thank you.